today's video, I am working on 3 cleanup projects over 3 different days. So these were projects where I just needed to get in there and clean things up and make it happen. So I decided to be a little quicker than doing a true recorded video, but I wanted to show you the spaces and how I tackle kind of cleanup at different seasons of the year. So it is the season of fall here, and I needed to clean up some spaces that just look a little rough. So first we're getting started on the driveway side of the garden. So I have some old Rebecca that I don't know why this area, it stays beautiful for just a few weeks and then it looks absolutely horrible. So I need to decide if I'm going to keep it or not. So then you'll notice the totem poles. So my husband actually whacked those back a few weeks ago. I love them in this space because they help kind of hide that pole that we have to have in our yard, but they do flop during our storms. And so at some point we may decide to replace them with an evergreen, but he went in and trimmed them up pretty hard, harder than I would have because they were flopping into the driveway. And we do share this driveway with our neighbors. So now I'm just going to start making my way up the driveway. So my philosophy is once I get all my tools out, I try to do a section of the garden at a time. So today I'm focused on that kind of end of the driveway space all the way up to the main flower garden. Because I needed to use hedge trimmers, I needed to pull weeds, I'm just going to get it all done. So I am trimming some spirea. These are spireas by Proven Winners, and spirea is one of my favorite shrubs. It does not have to be pruned. So if you have it in a space where it can just go wild, then you can do that. But I want this driveway border needs to stay a little bit neater since it's on the edge of the driveway. So I am doing this late season trim and it will not need anything else again until next year, probably after spring. Now the larger shrub that you see behind there is also a spirea. It is one that grows tall and blooms gorgeous white tendrils in the spring. So I'm just kind of cleaning it up and giving it some more airflow, kind of airflow around all these plants. So now I'm tackling a Rose of Sharon. This is the blue chiffon. And to be honest, you guys, she's been here 3 years. I've never really pruned her. I've trimmed a few branches off, but since I'm out here today, I'm going to go ahead and give her a haircut. Now, Rose of Sharon's, you can really trim on them anytime. They are so hardy. Typically, you would wait till late winter, but I went ahead and did it today. There's no problem in that. I wanted to kind of top her off and reduce some of the floppiness. I also cleaned up the structure of the branches underneath. I like this one to have that winter structure and to have, again, that airflow. This is a really narrow garden space, so I just wanted to get her all cleaned up and pretty before the holidays. So you can see my pile here of brush. We're going to take this back to our back, to our compost area. We kind of just naturally compost. I let it kind of just naturally decompose. If I get too much, then I'll bag it up and send it to our local compost through our trash service. So just going to get this all cleaned up. I'm going to blow the area off and we will have this space buttoned up and it will be done until next spring. So I can kind of check this one off my list. I have found that it works best to do my cleanup when I can do it. And again, I try to tackle a section at a time. I also try to think about the seasons. And now that I've done this area, I really won't have to do it again. So that was actually a pretty good size workout. So here's a glimpse of this space all cleaned up. Feels really good. So we've had this space planted like this since we moved into our home, and the spireas do great. I have a few heucheras popped in, some heather that blooms in the late winter, and then coming up to the Rosa Sharon. So that's all I needed to get done today. Now pretty soon I am going to have to cut back the Baptisia, but because it's so pretty and lush, I'm going to leave that until later in this season. Now I will come in and give this some mulch before winter hits, just so it's buttoned up and ready to go for spring. Now the limelight will also need to be pruned, and I probably will do this one before winter because it flops so bad. All right, so now on to the next space. So probably a couple weeks ago, I used to have a huge limelight hydrangea in this spot, and we had a guy that was helping me out move it actually to my neighbor's yard. So she's going to get to enjoy my beautiful limelight that just wasn't in the right spot here. It was getting too much shade and it was flopping all over the garden. So I needed to clean up after they removed it. Now, this is an 𝐅𝐻𝐋𝐋𝐖 peony. It's one of the large tree peonies. And peonies in my area start looking really bad in October, and usually it's time to go ahead and cut them back. So again, since I was working in this space, I went ahead and cut it back. It's kind of that you're in the spot, go ahead and take care of it. So I'm going to give that a good trim. Now, the next thing I'm going to do in this space is I have some plants that I want to transplant to this empty area. So we're going to get those done. One is a grass that I transplanted from in front of my water connection. And so I'm going to bring that to put back here. It should stand up nice and tall, kind of right in front of that arborvitae. Then I'm going to be adding a new hydrangea for me. It's going to be the new Powerball. Now it looks like I'm planting it close to this other hydrangea, but the video camera just is deceiving. It's got plenty of room. Basically, this hydrangea will have that entire space to grow. I am planting it further down so that it will get more sun, and it should do much better than the limelight. I also can keep the Baptisia pruned back after it blooms in early spring to give the hydrangea plenty of room. So it was really, really nice to get some new plants in this space, to get it all cleaned up. And then now I just need to bring in some mulch, and it will be, again, ready for next year. So the next space that I'm tackling today is my tiered garden. This is the garden at the end of our patio. So our property slopes all the way down to the main road. And so when we put in our patio, we needed to have this tiered garden bed. And it is extremely low maintenance. I come into this garden maybe twice during this season. Now, my white climbing rose has done amazing this year. I had to move her a year ago, actually in the fall, and she has grown all the way across the trellis. The line of wire that I added. I'm so pleased with it. I do need to get some additional lines of wire added because I think she's going to be a pretty vigorous rose and she loves that spot. So today what I wanted to do was go ahead and get these kind of lines connected before winter. Then I have some sedum that has completely flopped over, and what I'm going to do is cut it back, and I'm going to use the sedum and let them dry and use them in some arrangements and some dried floral containers. So sedum is a great option to go ahead and cut back because you can use the blooms and it looks beautiful in fall arrangements. So while I was here, I went ahead and took care of it. Now, I still will need to clean up my blue container in the background there, and I will need to trim the line lights. But these are little limes, and I will probably leave those until late winter, early spring. These will have beautiful winter interest, and the birds will thoroughly enjoy them. So I'm just going to continue to clean up the rose, and that way I know the rose is done for this season. Now, the bottom of this terrace has some weeds, and there were some more sedum and things I need to cut back. I will be working in this space probably in November. I need to add some new plants, some things have kind of died back, and it just needs a little bit of a refresh for next year. So you'll see that again shortly. But it was so nice just to do a little cleanup on this space to get all this gorgeous sedum that I can use in other containers. A little glimpse at this space and the white rose that has made it all the way across the wire line. I'm really proud of it. So it was really good to spend 3 days getting different parts of the garden just kind of cleaned up a little bit, buttoned up. It's not full winter cleanup time yet, but just doing some small things along the way makes it so much easier. So thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments what you're doing to prepare for the winter season ahead.